12 years of bleeding, 12 years of shame, 12 years of being pushed aside, 12 years of suffering and depression, 12 years of wondering if God still hears prayers. What do you do when the world avoids you? When doctors fail you? When you've lost hope and you're not sure how much longer you can keep going? What would you have done if this was you? If your body was failing, if your money was gone, if your friends disappeared, if everything in you felt empty and exhausted? This is the story of one desperate woman whose life changed with a single touch. Stay till the end because you'll hear 3 key lessons from her struggle that might speak directly to your own story. By the time we meet her in this story, she could barely remember what it felt like to be normal, or live a regular day without pain or embarrassment. 12 years. 12 long, humiliating, exhausting years of bleeding. At first she had hope. She was actually a wealthy woman back then, the kind of lady who had nice fabrics, a house people admired, and friends who showed up with baskets of fruit just to check on her. But you know how people can be. The moment her bleeding didn't stop, the whispers began. Is it a curse? Maybe she offended God. Stay away before she makes you unclean too. Over time, the baskets stopped coming. Then the friendships faded. Then the doors slowly closed. And eventually people were crossing the street just to avoid her. According to the law, a woman with her condition was considered unclean, which meant don't touch her, don't sit where she sat, don't invite her anywhere, and definitely don't let her show up at your event. She wasn't a leper, but socially, practically, emotionally, she might as well have been. She spent everything she had trying to get better. Doctors promised her solutions. This special herb will work. Just try this rare root. This treatment cured my cousin's cousin's cousin. Meanwhile, her purse kept shrinking, her hope kept fading, and her strength kept draining. Eventually, the money disappeared. Then the dignity, then the will to live. She went from healer to healer, from physician to physician. Some were hopeful, some were cruel, but all were expensive. Every visit left her weaker, poorer, and more invisible. She tried every treatment and remedy, but all failed. And with each failed treatment, another piece of her died. But God, in His kindness, didn't allow her to suffer alone. One friend stayed, a widow, a woman who understood suffering, who had also felt invisible. No husband, no help, no status. Maybe that's why she didn't run away. This widow didn't offer cliché encouragement. She didn't say, "Stay strong," like the people who visited once a year. She showed up with food when she had barely enough for herself. She sat with her even when it made her unclean. She risked judgment just to make sure her friend didn't collapse from loneliness. 2 outcasts, holding each other up. One morning, the widow rushed into her tiny, silent home, breathless with excitement. "He is here," she whispered. "Who?" the woman asked, puzzled. "Jesus, the healer everyone is talking about, the one opening blind eyes, touching lepers, raising dead people like it's nothing." The woman blinked. The name was familiar. Everyone had heard rumors. The widow's eyes sparkled. "My sister, if anyone can heal you, it is him." That night she couldn't sleep. She lay awake praying, "God, please, please don't let them recognize me. Don't let the crowd drag me away. You know they will stone me if they find out I'm there. Just hide me long enough to touch him." She wasn't even praying for a full conversation. Not a meeting, not attention, just one touch. "If I can just touch the hem of his garment, I know I will be healed." It wasn't wishful thinking, it was conviction, the kind that grows only in people who have suffered long enough to know that God is their last and only hope. She wrapped herself in the plainest cloth she owned, head down, face hidden. She could barely walk. Anemia had drained her body. Every few steps she had to stop and breathe. Her legs trembled, her hands shook. At one point she whispered with a half laugh, "Lord, if I collapse on the road, please at least let it be facing the direction Jesus is going." It was the kind of joke people make just to keep from crying, painful, but still a little funny. Sometimes that tiny bit of humor is all a person has left. By the time she reached the edge of the crowd, she was dizzy. So many people. Too risky, too loud, too dangerous. But her faith said, "Keep going. This is your moment. Don't turn back." She dropped to her knees, partly to hide, partly because her legs simply gave out. And then she crawled. Slow, quiet, breathing through weakness, pushing past sandals and robes, ignoring the murmurs as people felt someone brushing against them. If they knew who she was, they would have screamed, but heaven covered her. She was determined. Through sandals, through dust, through legs and robes, she got close enough to see Jesus' garment swaying as he walked, close enough to feel the air shift around him, close enough for her heart to pound like it hadn't in years. And with the last bit of strength in her body, she stretched her trembling fingers and touched the hem. Not his hand, not his shoulder, not his robe, just the hem, just the edge, just a moment. And instantly, something shifted. Healing flowed through her powerfully. She felt her body change. The bleeding had stopped. Strength filled her limbs. Peace settled into her bones. For the first time in 12 years, she felt clean and whole. But right when she thought she could slip away quietly, Jesus stopped walking and said, "Who touched me?" The disciples looked at him like, "Master, this is a crowd. Everybody is touching you." But Jesus knew. He felt faith. He felt virtue go out of him. The woman froze. Her heart jumped into her throat. "Oh no, oh no. Oh Lord, I only touched a small hem. Why is he calling me?" Her friend, the widow, was somewhere behind the crowd praying furiously. Jesus waited, not rushing, not angry, not irritated, just waiting for the one who touched him in desperation. So she came out, shaking, terrified, falling at his feet, and she confessed everything: her condition, her shame, her loneliness, her 12 years of suffering, her fragile faith, her desperate crawl, her fear of being recognized, her longing to live again. Jesus listened, and the crowd, the same crowd that would never have let her near him, suddenly fell silent. Then Jesus smiled, a smile that wrapped around her like a warm blanket. Then he said, "Daughter, your faith has made you whole. Go in peace. Your suffering is over." Daughter! He didn't call her woman. He didn't call her unclean. He called her daughter, restoring her dignity and identity in one word. The crowd parted to let her through. The widow cried and embraced her, and the woman, once broken, abandoned, ashamed, walked away healed, seen, loved, and free. And if we're honest, this woman's pain isn't that different from what many of us feel today. Maybe you've been bleeding too, not physically, but emotionally, spiritually, financially, or mentally. Maybe you've been ignored, abandoned, or misunderstood. Maybe people who once stood by you slowly backed away. Maybe you feel like an outsider in your own life and no longer have hope. Or maybe you've been praying for so long that you're starting to wonder if God still hears you. Well, Jehovah Rapha, the one who heals, the great doctor, hears you. He's never turned his back on you. Not once. Not in your worst moment. Not in your weakest season. Not when you felt invisible. Not when you cried yourself to sleep. Not when you hid your pain behind a smile. He sees you. He knows exactly how long you've been bleeding. He loves you fiercely, and he's ready to heal, restore, and make you whole. If you still have even a mustard seed of faith left, if you can stretch out even one trembling hand, if you can whisper even a small prayer, then your breakthrough is still possible. The woman with the issue of blood didn't come with perfect faith. She came with fragile faith, but she still came. Her story is proof that sometimes all you need is one moment, one touch, one prayer, and everything can change. So don't stop praying, don't stop hoping, and don't stop reaching for Jesus. He can heal what others broke. He can restore what you lost. He can revive what feels dead. He can turn your whole story around. And just like that woman, you too will be healed and restored again.
Friends, what a powerful story. And it's not just her story. It's proof that you matter to God and He loves you very much. Here are 3 lessons this story can teach you today. 1. God can use the difficult seasons in your life to build strength you didn't even know you had. Sometimes, the long, painful chapters aren't punishment, they are training. The woman's suffering shaped her faith, humility, and the desperation that pushed her straight into the arms of Jesus. So instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "Lord, what strength are you building in me through this?" 2. God will allow some people to walk away for your protection. When this woman became sick, the invitation stopped, the friends disappeared, and the whispers grew. And if those people had stayed, they might have blocked her from reaching Jesus. So don't chase after everyone who leaves you. Ask God to show you who is assigned to your journey now and who was never meant to stay. 3. A tiny step of faith is still faith, and God responds to it. The woman didn't pray loudly. She didn't draw attention. She did not even touch Jesus himself, just the hem of his garment, and God still moved powerfully. So don't wait to feel strong. Bring to God whatever you have today: the whisper, the tears, the small prayers, and trust Him to meet you right there. Want to go deeper with God? Join Faith Builders for exclusive prayers, devotionals, and members-only perks. If this story moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with another person or two, and let them know that God still saves and loves them very much. Stay connected here, because new stories of faith, struggle, redemption, and God's unending love are shared regularly. You don't have to face life's challenges alone. Each story will encourage you, restore hope, and point you back to God's heart. Subscribe, like, and share for more faith stories, powerful prophetic prayers, Bible stories, faith-building content, and destiny-aligning declarations. Press the bell icon to be notified of new uploads. Be part of a community growing in prayer and faith. Stay covered and encouraged with every new story and prayer shared here. Until next time, keep the faith.